My name is Britta Riley, and I'm an artist and a technology designer.
I'm John Gersma, and I am Executive Chairman of Brand Asset Valuator Consulting.
Okay, my name is Catherine Moriwaki. I'm an assistant professor at Parsons, the New School for Design, in the School of Art, Media, and Technology.
My name is Michael Carnchen-Apricorn. I'm one of the co-founders of Skillshare, which is a community marketplace for offline classes.
Well, thanks for having me in as well. I'm Brett Martin. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a new mobile startup. It's called Sonar. It's basically a mobile application that uncovers the hidden connections between you and everyone else nearby.
And I just think creativity has never been more important.
You know, if you want to talk about sort of ideas as, you know, an idea economy, it's really about something that's original and something that's truly different.
You know, I think that the byproduct that there's so many possibilities and so much creativity today actually puts a premium on it.
I think what excites me is when people start ideas and companies and projects that make the world better and solving real problems and flipping archaic ways of doing things to make it better.
Do you think that there's a huge community out there of people who are hungry for a kind of experience?
I think this is definitely a roll up your sleeves sort of lifestyle that people are seeking. The analogy I always use is I call it hyphenated living. And if you think about the Hollywood model, you know, the more hyphens you have, the more power you have. You know, like actor is one thing, but actor, writer, director, producer, it's a whole nother level.
Well, it starts with a community of people who are kind of like adventurous anyway.
The sort of hackerization of popular culture is something that really can't be ignored. I mean, in as little as, I'd say like 5-6 years really, we've seen an enormous sort of uptick in terms of this kind of DIY community, DIY efforts.
I think there's just a lot of magical things that happen when you get groups of people together around shared interests. You know, we always say that the most abundant resource in the world is knowledge and skills. And if we could just get people to share that, that could be very, very innovative and transformative.
Becoming much more comfortable with sort of sharing data, you know, sharing experiences, sharing photographs, whether it's on Instagram or on Facebook or on Twitter. I think that there's this natural tendency that's sort of imprinted in us now to be open to these ideas.
And there are still certain kinds of protocols, a certain kind of etiquette and structure really for how people go about sharing that information, right, along with the benefits that people receive from having information, you know, receiving free information and being able to have access to knowledge. There's also this kind of expectation that you sort of give back.
If you think about the old notion of American values, for example, in America, of don't tread on me, you know, I want to be responsible for my destiny. Well, that's actually being aided by these social tools as people are trying to learn new skills and impart and get wisdom from the crowd.
We're seeing, it's not just people who want to connect, you know, with the person, but they want to leverage, they want to use sort of these communication channels to just get information. So something we've seen a bunch is like, someone will be going to a bar or going to a restaurant actually, and they'll see someone who's a friend of a friend at that restaurant and say, hey, you know, I'm friends with Jenny. Like, what's the scene like there? Is it busy? Can I get a table? You know, and then they'll base their decision to come to the restaurant whether or not, you know, that stranger who happens to know someone they know answers them.
People are really open to sharing now as a way to sort of extend their purchasing power and, you know, create new experiences and get greater value out of the marketplace.
I actually think that we're entering a period where there's going to be social stratification based on sort of distribution, where it's not going to be about class or race or money, but it's going to be about sort of social influence. What's
starting to emerge is that your sort of actual expertise and your reputation are going to become tangible, marketable assets that are going to help you, you know, act as a media channel or as a super influencer to sort of help you get value out of this marketplace.
I do think that people are willing to engage with brands, but there's just so much skepticism with a brand. And it really depends on the particular brand, whether or not it's one that has already developed a certain kind of trust or you know, sort of credential, if you will, with creative communities.
This is sort of an environment now where a company is now nothing more than a series of conversations. And I think that the more that you're open to those conversations, the assets and the ability to sort of either have your products improved or your reputation improved far outweigh the risks that exist. So people are willing to participate. They're willing to sort of, open up. And I think that it's just incumbent on companies and brands to grab that stuff and run with it.